Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel PantherSchools. My name is Amit Singh and we are talking about 55 days, 55 Salesforce flow scenario. We have already covered a couple of scenarios before and now we are going to cover another scenario, and this is what the scenario which we are going to cover. So the service representatives at your company TechFuse India Private Limited, they are complaining that it is taking too much time to find a case whenever they are in a call with the customer, and that is indirectly basically impacting their performance, indirectly impacting the customer satisfaction. So what they are looking for, if you as an administrator can help them to develop a UI, that UI will take the input from the user, which is going to be case number, and then you need to basically display the following details. Like you need to display the name of the customer, you need to display the status of the case, you need to display the subject of that case, the description, the priority, and when the case was created. So these are the certain information that you need to display. Again, let's talk about the kind of flow that we will be developing here. As we already have talked about, whenever there is any requirement we wanted to display, we wanted to take an input from the user, it will always be screen flow. So here we are again going to develop a screen flow. This flow is going to again sit on the home page of your service application. In the previous scenarios we have talked about sales application. Here this flow is going to be added under the home page of your service application. So let's go ahead, logged into your Salesforce org. If you are already not logged in, click on setup, the gear icon, and go to setup. We are going to create a flow, search for flows from the home page, and then select flows under process automation, click on new flow, select start from scratch, and then select screen flow, click on create. What is the first requirement of our requirement? Whatever we have discussed, that sales rep, not sales rep, service rep should be able to input a case number, and when they click on retrieve case or find case, they should be able to see the case detail if at all case is available, right? So let's add a screen over here. So after start element, click on plus, select screen, and we will say input case number screen, because here in this screen we are going to take the input from the user. As usual, we are going to hide the header. Case number is a text field, or it is a auto number field basically, right, where we've got the auto number information for the case, where it gets automatically incremented whenever a new case is created. So we will take a text field here. First of all, we will take a text field and we will see how will we be able to make this work or not. Okay, so for the label, let's say case number. It is going to be a required field, so that user must need to click on provide this value before they actually go to the next screen. And after that, click on the footer. We need to configure the footer and especially the next button. So we are going to say find case. So if there is a case, we are going to say find case. Okay, that is the very first and initial requirement from the user, where they are looking to input the case number and get the details. After they have got it, let's click on save, and we will say find the case by case number and save it. Once we have taken the input from the user, next thing that we need to do it, find this case in Salesforce under the case object. How we will find it? So whenever we want to get the data from Salesforce, we want to query the data from Salesforce, inside the flow there is an element called get records. So let's go ahead and click on plus and search for get records. So this is a data element again, get records, that will help you to get the records. This is the first element, so I would say gr01 get case record. Okay, we are going to get the case record, and for the description I will say get case record based on the case number. Get the case record based on the case number provided by the user, which is the description. Which object we want to query from Salesforce? Case object. What is the filter criteria? Based on what parameters we are looking for case? And we discussed that user is going to provide us the case number, and that is our criteria. We will say case number equals the number which we are getting from the screen components. So we've got case number. Under the screen components, this time we are seeing case number. Why we are not seeing the screen whole like the previous videos, like the previous scenarios? The reason, because in the previous scenarios we had multiple inputs. That is why it was coming under the screen. Here we have single input, so it says okay, you have a screen components and there is only one screen component, that is case number. So here it is that, and we got it. We say case number equal to case number. Do you want to sort it? We really don't need to sort it because there is only one record. How many records you want to retrieve? So with one case number there will be only one record, so we are going to say only the first record, whatever the record you are finding. Then how to store the data? Do you need to store the complete field? If you have 1000 not 1000, if you have 100 or 200 field under the case object, it will query and store it all in the flow, or you want to choose certain fields that you want to get and just do it. We will leave the default option whatever it is, but the second option, which is basically you have to select which field you want to query. It is more like specifying what information I need. In case of first, you really don't need to do anything. It is going to get all the data that you need. Okay, and make sure you save your changes. That is the first thing. Again, if there is any error, let's add a fault path. We will add the screen later on. Now here there is a tricky part. And what is that tricky part? Let me show you. Let's go to let's add a screen here first, error screen, and we are going to say error screen, hide the header, and for error we are going to display the error message under the display text. You already know that error basically is available under the global variable called flow fault message, and click on done and you are here. Okay, so if there is any error, we are displaying the error. If there is no error, we need to display certain information, that is this is the information which we want to display about the case, right? Customer name, status, and other details. Let's try to do that. After get record, let's click on plus screen element and we will say case information. I'm going to hide the header and we need to display the information. So let's take that display text. Okay, but instead of using display text, I would use multiple inputs and I will disable it. There is a reason for that which I will show you. So we need to display subject, right? So it's going to be text. We need to display the description, which is going to be text area. Then we've got priority. I would also take it as text only. We've got subject, we have a status, and then we have got created date and customer name. So created date is going to be date. So first thing is, let's say subject, it is going to be read only. Let's put it as true. So it will be by default read only. What is the value? Because we need to display certain information, right? So what is the value that we want to display here? So the value is going to be, if you go and put your cursor here, you will see under record in the parenthesis single and variables, there is a variable called case from zr01 get case record, and under that you'll find subject. Similarly, long text area is going to be description. It is going to be read only true. Value, what is the default value? Default value will come from that record single variable, from the variable which we have already used or which we have already queried from the get record. Okay, then we have got status. This is again going to be a text field. It is going to be read only, so I'll say true. What is the default value? Default value coming from the record single variable, again status. Then we have got priority. This is again a read only field. Okay, and then you've got default value which you are getting case from priority. You've got due date, sorry, it is created date, so let's say created date, read only, I would say true. What is the default value? Again from the record which we have queried. One more thing that is missing is the name of our customer, which is going to be a text field. So we will say customer name, make sure it is a read only field, and the default value. What is this customer name, from where the value is coming from? So this customer name is nothing, this is going to be the name of the contact under which the case is created. If you open any case, you will find that the case is associated with the contact and the account. So this is going to be the contact name, is going to be our customer name. This is the customer under which the case is created. How we will display the customer name over here? Again, we are going to use default value, the value which will be defaultly selected over here or populated over here. We will again go to the single variable which is coming from get record element. Contact is our customer, so we will search for contact. So you got contact ID, and under that you have got name. So you are going to case first, and from case you are going to contact, and then from contact you are displaying this name. That is why that is what we have done over here. And then for the next button, what we will say is go to the configure head footer and say use custom label, and we will say find another case. Okay, if users clicks on this find another case, we will navigate back the user to the same screen and click on save. Okay, so once user say find another case, user again needs to go back to the input case screen, case number screen. So click on this plus sign and say connect to element and connect to this input case screen. So from this screen, user will always go to this input case number when they click on that find another case. Let's save our latest changes, and then now we will debug it. There is still improvement here in this screen, and what is that? That is what we will see in the debug. So let's go ahead and click on debug, run, and find a case number. Let me find this case number, a random case number which is available inside my Salesforce org, and click on find case. So I'm not able to see the customer name, that is fine. Subject is there, description is not getting populated, status is there, priority is there, created date is also there. Customer name is not there, okay, and description is also not there. Could be a possibility is there that there is no description. Yeah, you can see, right, there is no description for the case. So I'm going to populate the description, and after populating, if you rerun this case, say run again, let's give the case number, click on find the case, you can see that now we are getting the description of the case as well. So we are getting that, and if you click on find another case, I'm again going back the same screen, And this time, let's say if I'm putting some random case number over here and say find the case, I'm going to the same screen where no detail is there, right? Nothing is there, not able to say anything, and there is no record. We did not even find any record here. On the right hand side, if you see here, after the user populated the case number and the next navigation was selected, second what it did, it tried to find a case and it says that failed to find a record. So if you are from a developer background, you try to query a record which is not available and you are only querying one record, you might get an error. But in Salesforce flow, Salesforce automatically take care of that error and doesn't throw any error. So we have to check for a condition over here saying that if case is available or not. If we have found the case, if case is available inside this Salesforce org, then display information. Otherwise, display a message saying that no record found. Okay, that is what we need to do. So for what we will do is, after we have this get record, we will click on again this plus sign, and here we will use a decision element, and for the label we will say decision is DC01. I will say check if the case is found. Case is found. Under the outcomes, let's add a label called case found. For the default outcome, click on this and we will change the name to case not found. Okay, so that we know that there are two options, two branches here. Case found, that means there is case is available. Case not found, case is not available. Okay, that is what it has. How we know that case is available or case is found? So for this, under the conditions, for the resource section, put your cursor there, go to the get records element, because you have only one record, get record, so you need to use this and say case number. So if case is found, case number will always be there. We'll say does not equals to null. Now we don't see that does not equals to null, so we have to use another. We'll say is null false. So the record which we have found from this get record, case number will not be null. That means case is found. Otherwise, case is not found. Now this screen has to be moved to this case found. How we will move it? Click on this screen, click on cut element, and then click on plus screen over here under the below the case found. And as soon you do that, your screen is migrated towards under case found. For case not found, we are going to say now add a new screen element, and we will say case not found, hide the header. For the next, we are going to say find another case, and here we are going to display a message, display text. We will say case not found, and what message we will display? We will say case not found with the case number, and here we are going to provide the case number that is going to be coming from our screen component case number. This is what. So that is what basically we have to put over here. We'll say case not found with the case number, and now you can format it if you want to change increase the size, put it in the center, change the colors, change the font. You are free to do that. Okay, and click on done. Once user says that find another case, it should go back to this screen. If user says find another case, user should go back to this screen. So basically, irrespective of which path user is going, they have to go back to this screen, which is input case number screen. Okay, After you have done these changes, let's go and click on debug again. This time we will first try to put some random numbers, which is not a valid case number. Click on find case and we get this message. Say find another case. Let's give the proper case number this time. Say find case. Case information is now visible here. Now the problem here that we see is we are still able to put the cursor, and the second thing is that customer name is not available, not visible. We are not able to see the customer name. So let's fix this problem. Go back to your flow, go to case information screen, click on edit element. First of all, I'm going to disable every element. So there were two things. One was read only and one was disabled. So now I'm going to say disabled every single element. Okay. So that we can at least not put anything. User is not able to put their cursor. So now every element is disabled. User will not be able to do anything. Now coming back to this this problem, this customer name, this is really creating a problem, and we are not able to put the customer name. So what we have to do here is basically, because this contact name is going to be the related object, and that is why we are not able to see, right? So one thing that I would first try here in this case information, that is, not sure if it will work or not. If you see here, we are trying to print the name of the contact. Instead of name, I would type to put first name. Okay. So instead of name, I'm trying to print first name, and let's see if it is giving us the information of the contact. Hopefully it will not give us, because that is there is the problem. But if it is giving us, I'll let you know why it is actually giving us the information. Let's go ahead and click on debug, provide the proper case number, find case, and you can see here we got the contact information, which is the first name, which is Stella. Okay, we are not getting the other information like next name is, the surname is I think Pavela, Palova. Okay, I think there is some, I'm not able to pronunciate it correctly, but we are able to see it. Why? Okay, so first of all, let's go ahead, edit our case information screen. Now we need to put both, right? First name and last name. So copy the same thing and manually add some space, maybe 1 or 2, and paste it, and then for the other part you need to manually type it last name. This is the one way. You can do other way as well, but for now this is fine. Now let's talk about why earlier it was not giving us any sort of it was not giving us the name. So the reason for that is, so there are two reasons. One, that this is a related contact, this contact is the related object. The second thing is that we are trying to fetch the compound field, so we cannot directly in flow. In Apex classes we can directly query, but in flow, when we try to directly query, or when you try to directly fetch the compound field of a related object. Okay, so here we are trying, what we are trying to do is, from the case we are trying to go to contact and trying to query the compound field. A compound field is basically a field which is calculated, or which is basically the result of multiple fields. Like in the contact we have got first name, last name, middle name, salutation. All these are basically coming under the single field called name, and that was the reason it was not displaying the customer name when we were pulling up the field called name itself. As soon as we basically uh, used the single name, we got the information, right? So this is the important thing that you need to take care. Now let's test it, and this time we got the complete name of the contact, subject, description, status, and all of the details, and our customers are happy. If you want to add the case number, you can also add the case number. That would also be helpful for the customer, that which case number they are looking at. So let's add the final case number. At the top we'll say text, and we'll say case number. Read only, yes, let's make it as read only. Disable, make it as disabled. Default value we will take from the screen component, case number. Okay, and we are done. We have already tested this flow, so we are not going to debug it again. Let's directly go ahead and activate it and put it inside the home page of our service application. So go to Salesforce, and now we are currently in sales application. We need to switch back to service. So let's go to and switch to service, and inside this home page we need to add that component. Currently this home page is basically assigned as org default. This time we are going to change it. Now we are going to make it application specific. So let's go ahead, click on edit, and we are going to add a flow from the left hand side. We'll say flow, and we need to change our flow, and the flow name is find the case by case number. That is the one thing. So once you save it, your home page is going to be saved immediately. But what you need is basically you need to click on this activation, and we are going to say remove as org default first of all, and then again click on activation, go to app default and click on assign to apps. So this home page, what I'm going to is I'm going to assign this home page to service. Okay, where is the name of our application, which is service? So you've got sales console, you've got service console. We don't see that application service over here. Sales or service console is there, not the service. Or let's do one thing, let's make it as org default only. You can play around with the assigning it with the application is specific, which is there under that option which we are looking into. Okay, so let's go back to the home page, and now you can see our component is over here. We can test it by providing the case number, by seeing all the details here. You can again go ahead and click on find another case. You can find another case information. So this is it for this scenario. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, please feel free to put down into the comment section. If you have any other scenarios, please put down into the comment section, and we'll try our best to create the video on your scenario. Thank you.